Well, the company came to be. I'm a consultant, and the company that I'm working for, I initiated a project with Oak Ridge National Lab and their manufacturing demonstration facility. And the project showed so much potential that I decided to start a company on the side of my consulting business, and it's this startup right now. And then the whole Youngstown, I'm from the Youngstown area, so I've been watching Youngstown grow in the last few years with the incubator and 3D printing and America Makes and Youngstown State. And it seems like it's the best place, and it is the best place to start a 3D printing related company. The initial thought of the company was we're going to buy one of these large format printers. And then make the inks to go into them for this printer and as well as the market. But it's not economically feasible for a startup to ask for that much money out of the gate because the valuation of the company and venture capitalists and things like that. So we sort of shrunk that down just to focus on the printing inks. So that's the small sample in the center of this plate. And what happens is this plate will come down on top of that sample and it'll twist, and that'll tell us what the viscosity is depending how much torque you need to twist it. That tells us how many layers that we can stack on top of each other. So you need a lot of viscosity to stack it up to get as high of a print as you can get, as high in the Z direction as you can get. But then you don't want too high of a viscosity because then it takes a lot of force to pump it and it takes a long time to build a part. The current phase of 3D printers that most people are familiar with, so you get a pellet or you get a filament and then you melt that filament and then you put down a bead and you build that bead up layer upon layer. And as you deposit that bead, it solidifies. So it goes through a melt process and then a re-solidification. Mine, it starts as a liquid, it starts as a paste, and there's no solidification that happens during or after the deposition on the part bed. You would take the part that you built, put it in an oven, and then that oven, that temperature would drive the cross-link reaction which solidifies the material. It's a lot like the part A, part B epoxy that you would get at Home Depot in the little syringes. There's a few benefits. The biggest benefit I would say right now is you don't need to heat things on the part bed. And you can just deposit it at ambient conditions, just everyday room temperature conditions. So that makes it about 400% more energy efficient to deposit a structure using these thermosetting materials versus the melt process and the thermoplastic materials. And then another big benefit is as you build layer upon layer with the thermoplastic material, you have to wait till it solidifies before you put that next bead down. And what happens there is you get poor, what they call interlaminar bonding. So when you pull on it in the build direction, it's a lot weaker than if you build on it in the deposition direction. With ours, since it's not hardening or curing on the part bed, you get better bonding in between layers. My goal here, this trip, is to start the ball rolling on the first few printing inks that I'm developing. So I have some plans laid out for which inks that I want to develop. And Juggerbot is a partner of Xlink in that they're going to develop a system onto the Juggerbot platform to deposit these printing inks. So they're going to build a system that could run my materials. I have about 3 weeks or a month of testing and development to go. This week was a good start to the front end of that development, developing the inks. And then after that, I need to optimize those formulations and then start curing them to see what properties we get after we print them. I just think it's an exciting time, not only for me, but just in this whole YBI. I mean, there's a lot of good people here. There's a lot of collaboration that can go on even outside of Juggerbot for me, because I'm one of the few that are not really like Juggerbot makes the printers, right? And there's not many people in here like me that are actually making the material that you're printing with. So that's really exciting for me, and it's good to be part of it.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by...
I want to retire knowing we did it right. We want
to know that it's been worth something.
It's worth everything.
Be intentional about your worth. Farmers National Bank Wealth Management.